All right, team. Today is quadruple witching day. Really, it's actually triple witching day, but that's nonetheless. And yeah, I hope you guys are good today. We got Apple here, gapping down slightly. Although yesterday was a big day, man. The whole market flew up. Look at gold. Gold hit 2060s. Here's Apple on the left side. Uh, here's the SPY. SPY slightly down. Whoa, man, I didn't see how bad the SPY was yesterday. What happened to the SPY yesterday, guys? Again, I know I'm a little late. So I can put people in 24-hour timeouts now. That's great. Better believe I'm going to use that option. All right, so does market have bullish or bearish action today for quad witching is going to be our poll. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on my end, team, so bear with me. A busy day on my parts. All right, guys. All right, guys. So yeah, I'm checking up on everything else. What's up, Tony, Eli, B, Swag, Jeremiah, Ram, Two Trades, YD, Scooter, Marcus, Hedge, Caesar, Peter, Jay, Stacy. What's up, guys? Let me look at our poll numbers. I know I'm starting really late, and that's all right. All right. Nvidia pushing down. Is this what dropped the market yesterday? There's the SPY. You know, you see the SPY had this big dip. I'm trying to see what it was. This happened at right around noon my time. So that's about 11 o'clock. Or noon my time is about 1 p.m. Market time. So what happened at 1 p.m. yesterday? I'm looking it up. Let's see. Jobless claims, ECB press conference. Could be the bond auction. We had Mexico's interest rate decision, Fed balance sheet stuff, but it had to be some news, no? I'm assuming it was news. Let's check. Alright, so we had jobless claims come out yesterday. Lagarde is speaking. Hey. Huh? You're welcome. All right, so yeah, I'm looking at market news here. All right, so the U.S. passed at 9:45 yesterday a $886 billion defense policy bill. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm referencing, guys. If you don't know what I'm looking for, so I didn't notice this yesterday. And my portfolio still killed it yesterday. It really did. Like, we did great. But that's a big correction, in my opinion. Like, that's a big move. You know, I don't know. Again, I don't know what's really causing this move right here. But, like, that's a big move. You know what I mean? Anybody know what caused it? It happened right at noon. It looks like it was some type of catalyst. Now, my guess is that it's some type of individual stock catalyst is what my assumption is here. I can look at the SPY to see what went down yesterday. Look at the SPX news. No. Look at Apple. No. We could always look at how NVIDIA reacted, but it was a later reaction. So NVIDIA reacted 1147. 1147. Okay, so NVIDIA just reacted to this. And so we could look at Apple. Apple certainly reacted some, but this was a little bit late relative to the other ones. Microsoft. Could it be Tesla? Microsoft had a rough day yesterday. Could it be Tesla? Definitely not Tesla. Tesla had a minor correction from it. It could be the bond auction. Quad witching day is a historical day of volatility in which all 4 major contract types expire same day. The problem is it's actually triple witching because there's no such thing as stock futures anymore. And so that's kind of where we're at. It wasn't Tesla. Maybe just profit taking. Maybe. I think this is a weird move though. So like, it could be profit taking, but I don't think so because this. Okay. I think sometimes like fundamental and technical moves are very obvious on charts, right? A technical move will be kind of a stair step. A good example is like a technical move will be if it's a big move, meaning it lasts for this period of time. Right, so this, if it's a big move like this where it's literally a 30-minute like break of going from the highs of the days to the low of the days move, literally only one red candle in 30 minutes on a 1-minute chart. Typically, if it's something like this, it's fundamental catalyst related, like it's some type of catalyst move. If it's a technical move, it can do this very short term, like over a 5-minute period. We can see a big crackdown like this. But very rarely will a technical move cause this. What it really is how steep the candlesticks are. Like very rarely will a technical move call that. This is almost always a fundamental move of some sort. You know what I mean? Like, it was most likely a fundamental move of some sort. I don't think it was technical. I think it was too big for technicals. And again, looking at the news yesterday, it could be a lot of different stuff. Right around this period of time, we had 4-week and 8-week bill auctions. So we had bond auctions. The Fed did their balance sheet stuff later on. And so my guess is that's what it was. It could be macroeconomic stuff too from overseas. But that's my guess on what this was. I have to look at like market updates from yesterday though. Hey, nice. $1 trade's dope. Hey, what's up, Ali B? Or Ali K, I mean. Just want to say greetings from Switzerland. Hope all is well and you're doing good. Love to roll with you one day. My knee bars are tight. Bro, I'm scared of knee bars, dude. I don't like knee bars, dude. Like, you watch knee bars. Like, I've been an MMA fan for years, and I've watched, like, people have knee bars done to them in MMA and stuff like that, and you don't quite understand the vulnerable feeling that you feel when you actually get caught in one. It is certainly not a fun feeling. I've been in knee bars before, bro. Every time somebody even gets close to my knee in that way, I'm tapping immediately, bro. I'm prematurely tapping. Like, I'm not letting anybody torque my knee in any way. Like, I have this dude that I roll with. Good dude, really good dude. You know, he'll come into our gym sometimes, and he's really good at knee bars. Like, him and I rolled, and he'll catch me in the knee bar, but he never torques on it. He never cranks on it. He never even pulls on it at all. He basically gets me in the knee bar and then stops. And then I'll always tap because I'm not messing with knee bars, bro. Knee bars for non-jiu-jitsu people, knee bars are when you hyperextend the knee. So when you pull the knee the wrong way, when you bend the knee the opposite way, it's not your natural like L-shaped bend that your knee normally does. A knee bar straightens your leg out and pulls your leg and your knee the opposite way, right? And so it's one of the most notorious submissions that will blow your knees out. You know, anytime I've ever been close to getting put in a knee bar, I'm tapping, bro. That, a heel hook, I don't mess with heel hooks either. Somebody gets me in a heel hook, bro, I'm tapping. Ankle lock, I'll mess with an ankle lock. I'll try to roll out of it or whatever, but yeah, definitely not a knee bar, bro. I don't want that knee bar smoke, dude. Can you explain what quad witching is? Yeah, man. Quad witching is a day of notorious historical volatility in which all 4 major contract types in markets expire on the same day. So this, again, historically, this has included stock futures, index futures, stock options, index options. So like stock options, like Apple options expire today. Index futures, so like the E-mini, the NASDAQ E-mini, you know, stuff like that. Like what you see me trade in futures, those contracts expire, or what they call roll over to a new symbol. So stock options, index futures are the 3. Stock futures aren't really around anymore. But yeah, all 4 major contract types expire. So you basically have like SPY options, like S&P 500 options, stuff like that. They expire today. Stock options, so like Apple, Tesla options, they expire today. And then index futures, so like the E-mini, S&P 500, the E-mini, NASDAQ, they all expire today, which historically, we can't say what's going to happen. We don't know what we're going to get today, but historically, it's a day of like big volatility. Yeah, I got put in a wrist lock. Yeah, I've seen the video where Eddie beat what's his name? It's really what made Eddie famous. Which one did he beat? There's so many Gracies. Is it? I want to say it's Hoyler Gracie is what I wanted to say. Yeah, and that's what it was. Hoyler Gracie. Is that on opening? I believe it's on the closing bell today is actually when I think it is. But y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's at the closing bell today. Index futures, yeah. So index futures are like to give you an example of what a rollover means here, guys. So prior to today, you could trade. You're supposed to trade the one with the most volume, right? Which previously the last quarter it's been Z3. So like the NASDAQ would be NQZ3. Look at the big pop up in the NASDAQ, by the way. It'll be NQZ3. If you look at this one now, you can see the liquidity's dried up. Why? Because everybody's already rolled over. Nobody's trading this one anymore. It doesn't have that type of liquidity anymore. Liquidity's dried up. Now, this is the same security. NQH4 is the new symbol. It's the same security, but when I click on this, you'll notice it's the same movement, but there's much more volume on this one, right? So you have to roll over now. Again, if you're on Top Step, the new one is NQH4 is the new symbol. Yeah, so like Jonathan says here, the expiry is at the end of the day, but intraday there's typically some volatility and some funky price action. Yeah. John, what do you invest your money in? I invest my money in stocks, man. Again, my investing strategy is very simple. I look for beat up companies. I invest in healthy companies is what I try to do, right? I'll also invest in like the SPY. Like again, here's my portfolio. I'm currently green on the year in this portfolio, and I'm up about $1,600 on what I have left of it right now. What I have left of it. I took a lot of profit over the last 2 days, but I'm holding Apple, AMC, ARM, Amex, Citigroup, Chewy, Disney, Etsy, Ford, Gold, GameStop, Google, Home Depot, Honeywell, Coca-Cola, MGM, Microsoft, Netflix, Nike, Oracle, Pfizer, PayPal, RTX, Snapchat, SPY, Tesla, Tyson Foods, Walgreens, Walmart, and ExxonMobil. And I am actually green on every single one of these trades except for Pfizer, where I'm only down $30 really. Pfizer and AMC. So Pfizer and AMC are the only positions I have that are actually red. And this is like 30 something positions. I think it's like 30 positions. So I only have 2 out of 30 that are actually red. And of course, it's really easy to say this as the market has just been freaking pumping. You know, the market's been pumping. But again, you guys know me. I've been telling you this for freaking years now, that the market doesn't have to crash and that you got to ignore. People call me permabull, and they might be right. But I'm like that for a reason, is because that's where the true edge is in markets, long term at least. Because I can buy any of these, right? Like, to understand my strategy, I can buy any of these stocks. And a lot of the time, I'm buying them when they're pulling back in a profound way. Like, when they have, like, a big freaking pullback. That's usually when I'm buying these stocks, right? And again, I can just be wildly wrong about these all short term. And I can sit on them as long as I need to, and eventually they're going to come back, and I'm probably going to end green. I've been sitting on a lot of these for freaking months. Like, I ended up buying Apple. Let me see. I ended up buying Apple. Where's my first trade, dude? It doesn't tell me where. I know I got in that trade. See, it's been so long since I'm holding Apple. It doesn't even tell me. I bought ARM in September. I bought ARM in September. I bought MX in October. I bought Citigroup in October. I bought Chewy. It doesn't tell me when I bought Chewy, but I bought Disney early in December, or earlier this month. I bought Etsy in August. Green on that one now too. I bought Ford in August. Green on that one now too. I bought my gold trade in May. I've been sitting on gold in May. I'm finally green on that one too. I'm in GameStop as well. I bought this one I don't know when I bought GameStop actually. Google, I've been holding that since October. Home Depot, I've been holding that since the end of September. Honeywell, I've been holding that since August. Coca-Cola, I've been holding that since October. MGM, I've been holding it since September. I got in a lot of these on the big pullback months. Nike, I've been holding that since September. Oracle, I'm not sure when I first bought Oracle. Pfizer, I've been in it since September. RTX, been in it since October. Snapchat, been in it since August. I've been holding the SPY since October as well. Tesla, October trade. Tyson, August. Walgreens, September. Walmart, I don't know when I first bought Walmart. And then Exxon, I've been holding it since, I don't know when I started buying Exxon too. But yeah, so point is, I've been in these for months now. And again, a lot of these are rinse and repeat. Like I've been buying and selling these for a year plus. But again, I could, if you look at when I started accumulating shares, right? I do the same thing every time. You'll notice most of my accumulation in these positions came here. You know what I mean? Like if you look at when I actually got in these positions, most of them were right here in this spot. Again, and I use the same thing. Like I'm buying companies that regardless of whether I'm correct or not short term, I can sit on them for years and make money long term, right? Like those are the stocks that I'm buying. But when I start to accumulate these stocks, right? When I actually start to accumulate these stocks, it's in moments of weakness on a long-term chart. Like it's on these big pullback months, right? We were pulling back for months when I started buying up most of these. Like you can already tell most of these positions were accumulated here. And so that's a pretty good window to accumulate. You know, the market had been dipping down for 2 months and we were already in a bullish market on the year. And the market had already been dipping for 2 months. And so again, one of the things you'll notice is that usually when I'm buying stuff like this up, everybody's screaming at me that they're terrible trades, that the market's about to crash, right? That's usually when I'm buying up stuff the most because, again, I don't mean to use the cliched saying, but it's better to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. The logic of it is simple. I can sit on these long term if I need to. Like I told you guys, I'll say it over and over again. I can hold on to these and make money in a large majority of them by sitting on them. It might take years, but I can sit on them if I want and bag hold these. But the logic of the short term trade is like, look, we've been dropping down for months and months now. We're not going to drop down forever. These are all healthy blue chip companies for the most part. The market's very green over the last 52 weeks. We're just in a big two-month pullback. And so that's when I start to accumulate stuff. And again, obviously it worked out really well. Green on the year, up nice in these positions. And so we're just going to keep doing it. But Michael Burry says the U.S. economy bubble is about to pop and that we will go into the biggest recession anyone here has ever seen. Yeah, but I mean, how many times, the question is not what he says, but how many times he said it, right? Michael Burry has basically said one variation or another of that for the last, like, 20 years, man, since 2008. To give you some perspective here, Michael Burry, way back here, I think it was way back here, Michael Burry, we had an FOMC meeting right around here. I don't know when it was sometime around there, I think. And Michael Burry literally told everybody to sell ahead of this FOMC meeting. He told everybody to sell. He got really emotional, told everybody to sell, told everybody the market was basically going to crash, right? The FOMC meeting happens and, you know, dovish comments are in the FOMC meeting, right? And the market ends up ripping up like 5% afterwards, like a big move, like 2, 3, 4, 5% rip on the market. Instead of Michael Burry saying, hey guys, I was wrong, short term, he deactivates his Twitter and never acknowledges it. You know, he finally apologizes months later and says, hey, I was wrong for telling people to sell, is what he said. But my point is, I like Michael Burry. I think Michael Burry's 2008 prediction was a great prediction. It really was. I think super smart dude. The Big Short movie is actually what got me involved with the markets, right? And so Michael Burry, genius guy, super smart. But I think he's overly short. And I think, you know, it's kind of like a drug user is the best analogy I can use here, right? Where a drug user does a drug and they chase that high. You know, they chase that feeling. You know, I think Burry's doing a similar thing, but with calling a market crash, right? I think he called the 2008 market crash. He got a lot of validation and, you know, happiness from predicting that correctly, as I would and anybody else would, right? But I think since then he's been chasing that. He's been desperately trying to achieve that again. The problem though is that it's skewed his bias in such a short way that he's ignoring what's actually happening. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the real issue here. And I think if you look at a long-term chart, it's not like we're primed to crash on a technical perspective. If you look at a chart, like, when he was saying all this stuff, we had already had a bearish year. Like, we already had a red year, right? There's only been 3 events in history where we've had more than one red year like this in a row. There's only been 3 events in history where we've had more than one red year in a row. It's not going to happen all the time. And so I think he's just off in certain ways in that way. I think he's a genius guy, though. I like Michael Burry, but I don't think, again, the big joke about Michael Burry is that he's called 20 of the last 2 market crashes. You know what I mean? Basically, he overpredicts crashes. Oh, perma bears never win. They just don't, because regardless of whether we crash, the market's eventually going to come back for it and break highs. All right, so do we have Fed data today? I don't think so, right? Oh, we had the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. I forgot. I didn't even realize we had manufacturing and services PMI today. We had industrial production numbers too. So I didn't even realize that. Did you lose accounts when you started? Yeah, of course I did. Everybody does for the most part. Anybody that claims they don't is full of it. I mean, honestly, I lose accounts now. I don't lose actual accounts, but when I try to get funded, I certainly lose. I lost one the other day on stream. And I think the whole Michael Burry situation, is I think the whole Michael Burry situation brings attention to a larger nuance to things, which is that, bro, like, I've known people who, like, they just follow experts, right? Like, they just obsess over these experts and these newsletters that they're getting sent, and, like, these experts, really, they're just in, like, and they just obsess over these experts, and they romanticize these experts, and they make them celebrities in their head, and they act like they're literally celebrities, and they just follow them hand and foot. It's just kind of like, after a certain point, I'm fine with having bias in one specific direction, but when you start to follow experts so much that when the experts are wrong, you're still pretending they were right, it starts to get really bad for trading and investing and stuff. Like, I've known some people that had no idea what they were talking about, but they followed some experts and they were constantly arguing with me. And in hindsight, I was absolutely right. The market ended up turning up big, but like, people get really rigid and they just hold on to these expert predictions and they just refuse. Even me, man, don't trust what I say. Like, make your own assessment of everything. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I respect somebody that does that more so than somebody that just kind of bandwagons experts, because a lot of the guys don't actually know. And again, when you act like a guru, when you're telling everybody that you know what's going to happen, especially short term where nobody knows what's going to freaking happen. Nobody freaking knows. Look at the market dump though, guys. So SPY testing the lows here. Usually I would short something like this. I think I'll try to short it. But yeah, when you act like a guru, when you tell people that you know exactly what's going to happen, it makes you really rigid in terms of, like, you don't have any flexibility with what actually happens, right? So you're so desperate to be right to give yourself that validity that you kind of ignore what actually happens. All right, so again, we are shorting this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Made about $100, a little bit under $100 real quick. Again, I usually short these type of moves. The strategy is very simple, which is the strategy involves dip, small bounce. That's usually when I short. Cover around the retest of lows, right? And maybe it keeps on breaking down, but a lot of the time when we form these lows like this, it's kind of like a magnet, right? So we move down to test it, we bounce up a little bit. A lot of the time it wants to retest it at least once, and then it might go up or down or whatever, but that's the pattern that I use a lot. I can't guarantee it's gonna work, nobody freaking can, but solar is unprofitable, yeah, for sure. What do you trade, futures or stocks? I trade a little bit of everything, you know. That's why I liquidated my portfolio now. 100% liquid. Yeah, good luck, man. I hope you make some money. I think the top is in right there. So you have a minute to talk about sports. I'm trying to figure out who I'd like to predict the World Series: Dodgers, Orioles, or Arizona. I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. I just want Shohei to win his ring. You know. Yeah, they're just people trying to hate, man. Again, it's all right. Like I said, man. If you've never said anything before on stream and you're saying like a super negative comment like that, like you'll just get banned. It's all good. Safe Moon officially files for Chapter 7. Fed Williams is back. Yeah, solar's a sketchy market. It really is. It's just a sketchy market. Yeah, and I think the reason people get weird when I do this is because, bro, like, again, I've met a lot of people that, like, idolize these mentors, right? Like, and again, you got to think about it from their perspective, right? So if you're paying this guy if you're paying for a course and you're paying thousands of dollars for this mentorship program with this guy, and you know, you're going to be desperate to believe that it's worth it, right? You're going to be desperate to believe that it's justifiable. And so somebody like me coming along and being like, hey, you're just being taken advantage of, it's going to rub some people the wrong way, especially if the people are like gullible and they get involved with stuff like that. Like people aren't going to like it, you know? And again, I've kind of understood that for a while, but a lot of the time they shoot the messenger. Like they get mad at the person saying it, which is me, instead of like thinking about what I'm saying objectively. I don't trust cannabis stocks. Again, I don't think we're gonna have any federal legalization soon. All right, guys. So SPY up there. Gold is interesting. Again, the problem with gold is simple, though, right? So the problem with gold is very simple. Gold has been one of the best performing assets over the last 10 years, right? If you look at the last 10-year period for gold, right, here, this is it. Right, so here's 10 years of gold. Right, but the problem with gold is that it moves in phases, guys. Like, gold moves in phases, right? So it's not going to go straight up forever. It appreciates very well, typically, right? Again, it's 7x'd over the last 20 years, 25 years. And so typically gold does really well long-term as an inflation hedge. The problem with gold right now, in my opinion, just to give you both sides, is that sometimes you can have bad years, of course. Like, sometimes you can have, you know, like 10 years of red action. And again, typically the trend for gold goes like this. Typically the trend goes big move up, pull back, big move up, pull back, right? And so again, we've already made the big move up. The question is, does gold start to pull back now? And again, I'm not sure. I'm speculating, but I think that's the risk in gold right now. But I think long term it's going to be fine, of course. Yeah, gold super long-term hold makes sense, I think, for a lot of stuff. But again, of course, I have no idea what it's going to do. Is this Tesla bot real? Optimus. Is Tesla's Optimus real? That's the real question. You know, what's weird about science and technology and movies and science fiction, the question, the always like interesting question to me is whether we inspire or are inspired by science fiction. You know what I mean? So does that make sense? Like whether we're starting to get robots like this because of science fiction in the past gave us these ideas and now we have the technology to implement them, or are us building these things what inspires science fiction? I think it's a little bit of both, I guess, but I can't say I'm super number one, I don't know if this is real or not. Number two, I can't say if I'm super optimistic regarding robots like this. You know, I don't know if that's ever going to be a good thing, having that. No, science fiction is predictive programming, so I'll accept the new tech. It's the beginning of the end. Bro, it is freaking 7:30 in the morning here, B. You think that's what I'm doing right now, bro? I'm allowed to speculate on science fiction, all right, without being that. What would happen if you didn't close a futures contract before the close today? No, it's not like options, Sam. It's just going to have less volume, I think. But or it might close out the positions automatically. I don't know. I've never tried that. Might be time for me to get a new computer. Kind of wish we'd stop spending money on space exploration. We can't afford any of it, and it brings no honest value. I mean, it brings value. It depends on what your outlook is, though, of the world. There's some arguments for it, I think. So JP Morgan says ETH will likely outperform Bitcoin in 2024. I don't think so. I mean, maybe. It depends on what Bitcoin does, of course. It's all relative to what Bitcoin does, but still. All right, so again, we're mostly sideways. Oh my goodness, man, I'm dropping my headphones. I have my Winnie the Pooh mug today. There we go. Chop Fest Day. Yeah, it's sideways right now. It is quad witching day, so again, it's a day of historical volatility, where again all four major contract types expire, but. Yeah, we had the Empire State Manufacturing Index drop. It came in at minus 14.5. It's ultimately what tanked the market about 25 minutes ago. If you look at the big dip, this all started from the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which is interesting. Cyborgs won't drop their headphones. They are headphones. I know, man. Listen, I should be... Replace me here, guys. Replace me. Alright, so market's bouncing back after that Empire State Manufacturing Index dip. RTY went from 1% up to almost minus down percent, back to 0% in 10 minutes. Not exactly quiet. I'm assuming you mean RTX, maybe? I don't know. How are you sitting with Ford now? I'm green on Ford, although it's a small green trade. My average price is 1170s. And so, yeah, we're green on it, but it's small green. So we're slightly green here. We're taking some trades in futures today. We already took some profit in this, and now it's starting to bounce back. And so I could add some more to it. We got a nice little $130 cushion, and I'm in one contract at the NASDAQ. I'm going to add one more position to this and then maybe play break even with it. Give myself a chance to have some more. Might not need to, though. Big rejections. There we go. All right, we're up 30, 20, 15, 20. Flat now, slightly green. Consolidating here. New candle opens up now. I'm going to add to this, see if we reject real quick on this new candle. There we go. Take half of that off. Lock in the rest there. All right, so we let that trade work. We are now up 220 or so on the day. Attacking the NASDAQ price action. Do you hold Ford long enough for the divvies? I bought Ford in August, so probably. When does Ford pay? I mean, Ford's only got a 15-cent a share divvy though. They pay out December, so you already got paid the dividend. Today we got services and manufacturing PMI. Maybe I should have held that position, man. We are down a little bit. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. All right. Very nice chill. Arif, do you think Costco's dividend? What did Costco come in at yesterday for earnings? Costco performed well for earnings. They're up to 640s. Again, there's gold. All right, guys. So this guy, Atavio Costa, says, quote, the Fed's press conference the day before yesterday is likely to be remembered as one of the most important macro events of this decade. Any policymaker seriously committed to fighting inflation would never publicly announce an intention to start cutting interest rates before achieving their ambitious price stability target. Keep in mind that this dovish communication happened on the back of core CPI still at 4%, with the government spending exceeding 20% of GDP, rising deglobalization forces, widespread labor strikes, and an exceptionally supply-constrained commodity market. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to just be real, though. It just seems like people are betting on the market going down and they're upset that the market's going up, right? Like, if you make a bunch of bearish predictions, I think, and again, this is a capital partner at a hedge fund. So, to be honest, what it truly sounds like, the overarching sentiment I see here is that he's just mad the market's going up. And maybe not. Again, and if you look back, he's telling everybody the market's going to fall and all this different stuff. And so, yeah, if you go around telling everybody the market's going to crash and then scream rigged or manipulation whenever the market goes up, yeah, Powell wants a soft landing. Industrial production numbers are dropping today. Yeah, so I get a triple witching day. I just see it so much, man. Like I see it so much, bro. Like what you see, what happened. The reason what usually happens though is very obvious, I think, right? Which is that, okay. Again, you always hear me talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect, and I believe it's absolutely true, which is that the people who know the least think they know the most, right? And so what you see is you see a lot of people making these big, bold, short-term predictions, right? And maybe their predictions are right or wrong, but the edge of anything super short-term is very low, right? There's almost no edge of, especially like if you're trying to bet on reactions to the Fed meeting, dude, you might as well flip a freaking coin. Like there's no statistical edge there that's any type of that's profound in any way, right? Like there's no real edge there doing it. But for whatever reason, people always try to make these big bold predictions like the market's going to crash, right? I see a lot of YouTubers say market's going to crash, market's going to crash. And then when we don't, when the market ends up ripping up after they told everybody the market was going to fall, then they cry manipulation. You know what I mean? They say, oh, the numbers aren't right, or these aren't the real numbers, or whatever it is, right? But when you zoom out, it just boils down to they mad. You know, they're mad. They were wrong. They told everybody a bunch of wrong stuff. They got too confident in any specific short-term prediction, and when they were wrong about it, instead of just being like, yo, I was wrong, they just kind of ride that manipulation train until they can't anymore. Yeah, after Christmas, listen, next year might be a different story. I don't know. Like next year might be a different story. Again, I really don't know. I'm not trying to attack anybody. And if you want to know why I get hate like I do, guys, this is why. All right, is that if you look around, all right, and you look at all these big time YouTubers, you got a bunch of people with millions of subscribers telling everybody the market's going to crash ahead of these meetings, right? They're really doing it to get clicks, but they'll never admit to that. Seriously, like go look back. Type in FOMC meeting and look at how many big time YouTubers predicted some type of big market crash or bear action from this FOMC meeting. It's significant, you know? And so, I mean, hey, it is what it is, but you love to see it. You guys know what we predicted here. We told you guys exactly right. Honestly, we also, the same day we predicted PPI right as well. We said PPI would come in at 0%, or we thought it would. At least we guessed it would. I'm not going to say I thought we would because it was a pure freaking guess. I'd love to take credit for it, but I was lucky there. But we told people ahead of the FOMC meeting I thought they would pause and then have dovish comments afterwards, and that's exactly what we got. Market ripped up. Market's starting to bounce back now from the Empire State Manufacturing dip. You know, the Empire State Manufacturing Index came in noticeably weaker than expected, meaning that we came in for Empire State Manufacturing numbers at minus 14.5 versus positive 2 expected. So way worse than expected. And that's what ultimately caused this big, large pullback. Now we're bouncing back a little bit. Now we kind of look like a bear flag, though, if I'm being honest. You know, we'll see if it holds, but at the close. Yeah, it looks suspicious because the media preaches economic doom for clicks. Exactly. That's exactly right. And I try to wake people up to it because I see a lot of people kind of like regurgitating what the media tells them, which is that usually the market's going to fall or crash or whatever it is. And they you got to be introspective to recognize what's going on, which is that the media just wants clicks, man. They want to scare you. So New York City is going to pay 15 homeowners up to $395,000 to build an extra dwelling in their garage or basement to help ease the housing shortage, according to Business Insider. What does that mean, though? They're going to build another home in their basement and let somebody live there, dude? Honestly, I don't know if you could pay me enough. All right, so I know the answer to this question, guys, but let's see if the chat does. Okay, I see this person, Maya Trades, posted, and it's actually kind of funny because again, I struggled with this for a long time too, right? But she says, "Okay, math wizards, is $3 to $9 300%? I thought so, but $3 to $6 is 100%. So what's 200%? You know?" And yeah, I get it. But okay, 5x is 400%. You know, 6x is 500%. 7x is 600%, right? Like that's how you remember it. If it's 10x, like gold has 7x'd over the last 25 years, right? So gold is up 600% in 25 years. But yeah, I always thought that was funny. All right, guys. Hey, we got 20 minutes here, 20 minutes. Also, we got services and manufacturing PMI. All right. All right, you guys ready for the opening bell, team? All right, look at the market bounce back. Part of me wants to short because we are bouncing back some, but I guess I'll be patient here. All right. All right, team. All right, so yeah, we do have manufacturing PMI today also. John, you're gonna join a Top Step live stream? Yeah, I mean we've already been on this on theirs a couple different times. Yeah, I think it is too early to talk about cuts, though. We got 20 minutes until the opening bell, team. Sorry, I'm checking out. My guy's spitting facts every day. Hey, we try. Here, we try. We try to just be honest with people, but the truth hurts people sometimes. Like, listen, and again, I get it. Like, if you think you're about to get rich buying a penny stock course from some mentor guru that, you know. Yeah, I mean, we already answered it. D-Trader. All right, team. Yeah, funded account program wise, team, it really is better to, Like, again, if I was getting funded in a funded account program, and again, Top Step's a sponsor of mine, great way to learn how to day trade, right? You got to have reasonable expectations. Like, a lot of people think that they're going to be able to put up 50 bucks and then easily get funding and make $1 million, and that, you know, like that. And again, maybe you can, right? But nothing in life that is that rewarding is that easy. You know what I mean? Like, trading is incredibly difficult, and most day traders lose money. And so what I always tell people is, like, look, if you want to look cool and put the money up yourself on the, like, if you want to try to look cool and put up thousands of dollars yourself and risk that for your first trading account, be my guest, whatever floats your boat. But in my opinion, taking these funded account programs, as long as you have reasonable expectations for them, is a great way to limit risk when you're first getting started. You have to understand, like, almost all day traders lose money. And this is not like a controversial, like this is not a controversial take here. Almost everybody can agree most day traders lose money. And so again, you can put up thousands of dollars yourself and try to look cool. You're probably going to lose it. Like, that's just the facts behind it. You're probably going to lose it. I think, in my opinion, a much better way is that if you're new, try a funded account program. Top Step's the most legit one in the world. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. They fund thousands a year. And so if you want to use one, Top Step's the one you should use. And again, it's just going to save you money. I know when I first got started, I lost thousands of dollars, you know. And again, it's difficult to get funded because trading is difficult. It's not Top Step. It's just trading is difficult. And so understand that, guys. And understand, like, listen, if you're going to learn day trading, the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver. The patterns are very similar. Like, look, here's gold. Here's the SPY. If I put up Apple, patterns are looking pretty similar. Like, look, here's the SPY over the last 20 minutes. Here's Apple. You know what I mean? So, like, the patterns are very similar to day trading stocks. Here's a better example. Here's the futures contract that you can day trade with no PDT rule. Okay. And then here's Apple. You know what I mean? Like, they're very similar, but you can day trade this left side in futures, no PDT rule, buy market, sell market, all that good stuff. Top Step gives you a demo and they test your skill. And if you're good enough to pass it, they fund you. If you're not good enough to pass it, then you're probably going to lose less than putting up thousands yourself. Probably, at least in my opinion. But again, of course, they are a sponsor of mine. So I'm biased. But again, if you want to check it out, there's a link. Great way to help support your boy here. But again, you got to just have reasonable expectations for them. You know, like, what happens a lot is, like, people take these funded account programs, lose, and then get mad at me or get mad at Top Step or get mad at whomever because they lost. And it's like, look, that's the point. If you think you would have lost less money putting up the money in a real account and risking thousands of your own money, you're probably wrong. Almost everybody's going to lose. The reality is, a lot of people have never actually traded real money accounts. So they don't actually know how easy it is to lose thousands of dollars in a real account. They don't know the luxury of using something like Top Step, in my opinion. Because again, I've lost thousands of dollars. I know how it feels. It's not fun. And I'd much rather any day take a funded account program and lose that than put up 2K and lose that, of course. Tesla? Yeah, Tesla looks a lot like the S&P 500 right now. So again, here's the S&P on the left. Here's Tesla on the right. Like, they look a lot alike right now. Yeah, you lose 1,000 of real money. Yeah, it's a monthly subscription, but if you're funded, there's no, like, you know, you can trade as much as you want. I don't know if anything's a buy. I don't tell you. You guys know me. I'm not about to tell you anything's a buy. It's been a really fun few weeks, though, guys. I just want to give a shout out to everybody here. You know, today might be a little bit slower of a stream, and that's all right. Because it's been a really fun couple months here. Like, just in the last 48 hours, my channel's hitting 38, almost 40,000 views. You know, we had jobless claims yesterday. We had the Fed meeting, 28,000 views. PPI, 10,000 views. CPI, 23,000 views. We keep scrolling back here. You know, we had the JOLTS report, non-farm payroll numbers. We got 10,000 views. Powell's speech, we got 40,000, 35,000 views. Tesla delivery day, we had 40,000 views. So it's just been a really fun growth period for my channel, and I appreciate the love so much. Thanks so much, guys. If you want to know why you get some haters that show up, that's why. So, hey, you'd love to see it. Costco. We look at Costco. We're at 646 for Costco right now. Let's see if that holds. I don't know. Oh, they hit the like button. A lot of the time you got to refresh to see it, though. Like if you refresh currently, just in likes, you got 133. And I haven't even asked you guys, I don't think, today. Maybe I have. I don't know. You're growing a lot. Yeah, thanks, Wild West. Appreciate it. All right, so the SEC chairman, Gary G., said yesterday that they're taking a new look at the spot Bitcoin ETFs based on court rulings. Where's Bitcoin at right now with all the stuff going on? I'm looking at Ford. Bitcoin all the way back down to 42,500. Equity's back up some too. ATAK, let me see it. It's down big, and the liquidity when it went up was very low, but the liquidity on the downside is very high, which means that like no edge on the upside, a lot of risk on the downside. I just don't like it. Weird squeeze too. I don't know about the $15 dividend a reef. I really don't know much about Costco. As a long-term company though, Costco looks good. You know, it looks healthy. $15 divvy just depends on what your future price targets are, and I really don't know. The long-term chart for Costco obviously looks pretty solid though. So we got a little cushion here today. We are probably gonna get ready to day trade some. Let's get ready. Got a little cup and handle breakout pattern here. Remember, we got S&P Services Manufacturing PMI data today too. What do you guys think? Red or green day today? Again, the market's obviously green right now. Most things are green. We basically bounced all the way back from that Empire State Manufacturing dip. Let's watch NVIDIA. NVIDIA at 485. So NVIDIA's still very strong. Could make another test for 5. What's the best stock to short Bitcoin? I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. All right, so Gary Gensler said yesterday, quote, "We had in the past denied a number of these apps, but the courts here in DC weighed in on that. So we're taking a new look at this based upon court rulings." What happened in New York? Interesting. Yeah, there's some type of stuff going on overseas. All right, guys, so we got a little pullback on the NASDAQ. I might buy this dip. All right, so we bought the dip. One contract here. Kind of a cup and handle breakout look. There we go. There we go. All right, gonna go ahead and lock that in. Here's the P&L on the day. We are up about 270. I use Quant Tower, but if you can get Top Step X, it's a little bit better, I think, if they're still allowing people to use it. Carvana is up nearly 1,000% since Kramer said it wasn't a buy 1 year ago. Man, Carvana did have a crazy... Man, Carvana had one of the craziest comebacks in stocks, dude. And I was skeptical of it as well, like super skeptical. It hit $3.55 in the same period last year. It's now at $50.62. One of the biggest turnarounds for any stock. I got another larger style pullback here. Look at NVIDIA dip. This looks like maybe NVIDIA related, microchip related. Look at NVIDIA fall to 480s. See, this looks like a catalyst driven move. Let's see. Do we have any Fed speakers right now? Again, this looks like a catalyst driven move. Do we have any economic reports? We got capacity utilization rate 10 minutes ago, manufacturing production numbers. I see NVIDIA fall quickly, but let me see if we can find some other news. See what's going on. Again, this looks like a catalyst-driven move. All right, so market chatter: Tesla recall not currently planned in Europe. All right, so we did get a little pop back up. Yeah, is it Tesla? Is AI related? Tesla over 250s right now. I didn't even realize how strong Tesla was. Look at NVIDIA bounce back. So it's not NVIDIA. It could be Apple. It's not Tesla. It's not Apple. Oh, it could be Apple. Microsoft. Could be them too. Yeah, market opens up at 3 minutes, team. So just be ready. All right, team, here's the opening bell in a couple minutes. Market's flushing right back down. Very choppy period, though. Like, look. So we dipped down. We moved up. Now we're back down. So we got basically chop ahead of this. Other stuff's starting to follow it, but we're pretty neutral on the day so far. Starting to dip more. Again, this is typically catalyst driven for some reason. I don't know what it is. Do we have any Fed speakers right now? So Fed members. Okay, we got John Williams speaking. That's probably what's going on. No? Williams is speaking right now, correct? Here's Tesla. It's at 250s. All right, guys, we still got 15 minutes. All right, guys. Getting a little bit of a bounce back. I kind of want to buy this dip. All right, so we bought the dip. Just made 40 bucks or so. We're up about 3 something on the day, scalping that move. That was like a 2-second trade, literally 2 seconds trade. We're up $305. Market just opened, so. All right, so market's pretty choppy here. We moved up a lot, moved down a lot. Now we're back up a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but market's pretty sideways, team. I would be careful today. All right, Nvidia rising up to 486 this year, team. So market is starting to bounce. I hope it continues. Oil's falling down, that's for sure. Is it time for a final red day? Take a little bit off of my Exxon trade just to limit risk. It is down some today, so It's not gonna let me sell. Okay, we'll have to limit out. All right, there we go. We bought this dip. Could be choppiness though. Trying to scalp this move here. We just added to it. That might be a bad move. Taking a risk here at the open. See if we get a bounce, but getting ready to cut this. Yeah, we're gonna cut it. So we're back to break even on the day. I only took the risk of what I was already up on the day. So we took the risk, didn't work out, and that's all right. I still think we might bounce here, but it is quad witch, and the S&P 500 is looking really weak compared to some other stuff though, which is very strange, man. The NASDAQ is really looking much healthier than the S&P. The S&P itself is looking weak. My guess is from oil. Probably wants to buy this dip again because I see Nvidia rise. Although we are flat again. Here we go. Nvidia breaking highs. Looks like it wants to. Very weird day. Look at Tesla fall though, so that's probably the big problem here. All right, just made a little bit more. We had already made some on the E-mini, so we're up about 217 on the day. Here's our P&L. We never have been down that much, but I see Nvidia starting to ramp back up. Very, what looks like choppy day almost. And again, what's very strange to me right now, guys, is that the S&P 500, which I have been trading off stream too, is down. So here's the S&P on the left. Here's the NASDAQ on the right. So NASDAQ's more tech heavy, is what you see. So look at the S&P breaking down. All right, we got manufacturing and services PMI in a couple minutes too. All right, so we're still up a couple hundred on the day, but All right, so we are ripping up now, and the S&P 500 has fallen down. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked the SPY and the Q are going opposite freaking directions here. If you want to know why quad witching day is freaking weird, is because the Q is up big, but the S&P 500 is down big. Look at the nuance of this here, team. This is very strange. Okay, Nvidia shooting up right now, almost up to 490. Tesla even bouncing back. But again, look at the SPY here on the right side. All right, this is the S&P 500, the SPY. Look how weak it is. Look at the Q today. Look how strong it is. How weird, man. It's a weird market right now. Q is up, SPY is down. All right, so we are looking kind of strong here on the NASDAQ, though. But again, I don't trust this now. The S&P 500 is looking sketchy. We got 7 minutes before yeah, I would be careful. Again, I'm up today, but I'm also kind of nervous because the S&P 500 is breaking lows and the Q is over the 200 EMA, the volume weighted average price, and just broke high. So I'm hesitant. I think we could pull all the way back down, but I guess ultimately it depends on what the data shows. I just made a post on Twitter. The post goes, remember, if you're wrong about a prediction in markets, it's not because you were really wrong. It's manipulation. Am I right? You know? All right, guys, we're starting to bounce up. Q bouncing at the 200 EMA. The S&P 500 is starting to bounce back a little bit as well. All right, guys, Q breaking highs right now, man. I get a weird market. We got 5 minutes left until we get the PMI data, which is not a huge release, but it might move markets some. And so we'll see. Here, team, we'll see. Also, we're going to throw this bad boy in sub-only mode. If you haven't already, subscribe. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much, team. Yeah. Yeah, y'all are laughing because y'all know it's freaking true, bro. I don't know how many freaking AMC traders up here and saying, oh, you know, AMC should be $1,000 right now. Manipulation, you know. GameStop, the shining beam of health in companies, you know, should be $700 a share right now, guys. The fact that it's not is a atrocity. Is atrocity a word? It is a word. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. But yeah, an extremely wicked or cruel act. I should have known atrocity, but sometimes when you say something out loud, if you say it too much, it doesn't sound like a word, you know, like Holly in The Office. Anyways, I'm a sub, you're a sub. Why not be a sub too, guys? Today, hey, I'm a sub. You know, where's Good Burger? Where's Kel from Good Burger? The GOAT. AMC, speaking of all that, bouncing back. It's at 674s right now. SPY up to almost 470s. Bouncing back a little bit here. Starting to see some bullish action. Yeah, they're after people, guys. Apple's not breaking highs. I mean, Apple hit lifetime highs yesterday at $199.60, almost $200. I always tell people like the big whole dollar levels like 200, 300, 500. A lot of the time what you'll see, very, very common nuance, is that when stocks move up to test those levels, they'll get right up to the cusp of it and then dump down. And you see that with Apple too. I think they're trapping traders. I think market makers are trapping traders in those situations. And so I'm always very hesitant if we're about to hit a whole dollar level that's big like that to take long-term positions, because a lot of the time you just get slammed down at those levels. Hey, later, Michael. Have a good day, brother. What is quad witching? Quad witching is a day where witches from around the world gather to, speculate on stock markets. It's like this big witch convention. They get together every few years. It's called Quad Witching Day. All four major witch families in the world, convene to talk about what the plan is moving forward. It's a big day for sure in stock market stuff because a lot of them are investors. Apple's starting to move up. It's at 197.80s here. The NASDAQ just ripped up over highs. The Q is at 405s right now. Yeah, they play a lot of Black Sabbath, for sure. Apple, guys, up to 198s. Let's see if it continues up. Apple, largest weighted stock of the S&P 500. All right, guys. Hey, we got 2 minutes, a minute and a half until we have services and manufacturing PMI. All right, here we go. We got a minute and a half, team. Again, this is not the biggest release. Honestly, what was surprising is that Empire State Manufacturing influenced the market in a much heavier way than I expected it to. So we'll see what services and manufacturing PMI does. Ahead of it, the Q ripping up, getting ready to break highs. Apple still slightly red on the day, but trying to hit that previous closing price. Oh, bro, I'm top 3 riders in the world right now, dude. You didn't know? You should have known. I actually can write, believe it or not. I actually can write. I hate writing, though. Like, I've written some books and stuff, but I don't necessarily like writing, if that makes sense. Like, I don't... One of my books is ranked, too. Like, and it's been ranked for, like, a decade. I'm not going to say what it is, and, but I can write. I just don't like writing. It's not something I enjoy doing. All right, guys, we got 20 seconds here. 20 seconds. All right, 10 seconds, guys. All right, again, we'll see if this moves the market. Services expected at 50.6. Manufacturing expected at 49.3. 50.6. Below 50 is weakness. Above 50 is strength, or expansion, I should say. All right, here we go. All right, guys, services came in at 51.3, higher than expected at 51.3, so more strength in the services sector. Manufacturing actually came in a little bit weaker at 58 or 48.2 versus 49.3. Didn't really move the market much, which is surprising. Again, Empire State Manufacturing moved the market much more than this. This didn't really do much. But again, strength in services, weakness in manufacturing is what the economic report showed today. All right, so the SEC Commission recently denied Coinbase the petition for crypto rulemaking. U.S. Steel Board is meeting once again over the weekend, according to CNBC. But again, services came in at 51.3 versus 50.6. Now we're starting to get a pullback here. Again, I'll put this data up on screen so you can see it. All right, manufacturing PMI came in at 48.2 versus 49.3. There you go. That's the data right there on screen if you want to see it. Yeah, I just don't like writing. It's not something I enjoy doing. I don't mind writing, but I need freedom with it. Like, if I have to write, like, I've taken writing gigs where I've written as a job in my younger years, and I freaking hated it, dude. Like, I absolutely despised writing, like, under pressure. Like, basically have like a time frame where I gotta finish it by X amount of time. I absolutely hated it. And again, no offense, but like, writing just doesn't pay enough unless you're in the upper echelon of writers, and like, I don't think I am. I'm an okay writer. I can write if I need to, but I don't really need to, so I don't. AI is replacing a lot of writers anyway. All right, big pullback on the NASDAQ. Maybe we're getting a little bit of a delayed response here. The Q hitting that 200 EMA VWAP level, I could buy the dip, but this weakness looks, you know, a little bit of a hiccup in bull action, I think. And again, remember, if you haven't already, check out my sponsor, Top Step. If you want to day trade like I have been today, you can put the money up yourself trying to look cool, or you can try a funded account program. Most day traders lose regardless of where they go, but it's a lot cheaper to lose on Top Step. And if you're good enough to pass it, you can get between 50 to 150K in funding with a 90% split once you're funded. They pay out millions every year in actual withdrawals, fund thousands a year. They've been around for over a decade. They're the most legit one in the world. They give you a demo. What the challenge is they give you a demo and they test your skill. And just taking the challenge builds your skill. If you fail the challenge, you're probably going to lose less than putting up the money up yourself. And so in that, it makes perfect sense. It's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. Limited risk, but if you pass it, you still get a 90% split, free funding coaches. You get to keep your first 10K in profit as well. There's just a lot of benefits to it, although I'm certainly biased in their favor. You want to check all of this with them. They are a sponsor of mine. If you want to check it out, here is the link. Okay, thank you, Peter. I think we're at a point in the market that is looking for any news to take negative to get a breather. Maybe. Again, the market's kind of flat for a quad witching day. I mean, it is Friday. Hey, but yeah, appreciate the donation, Peter. Thanks so much, man. Again, the other sponsor of mine, guys, is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, futures, like anything with a symbol on TradingView. You can use these in. And again, I'm going to preface this with like, look, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. I can't guarantee they're going to work. Nobody can. They're just screeners to help your trading along. But if you actually test it yourself, you kind of see how useful this can be. Again, let's look at the predictions that we've had in this just over the last day here. Like, look. Buy signal, bounce. Sell signal, dip. Strong buy signal, beautiful bounce. Sell signal, big breakdown. Buy signal here bounced. Strong sell signal came in, what was this, like 4 or 5 minutes ago? Look at the big breakdowns we've gotten since then. Again, I can't fake this. This is just what's showing up on the chart. And again, look at the buy signal here, sell signal here, strong buy signal here. The strong ones, like if you back test the strong ones, you'll see what I mean. All right, so like let's look at every strong signal here, right? The strong buy signals, okay? So again, strong signal, boom, beautiful bounce. Strong signal here, beautiful bounce. Strong signal here, beautiful bounce. Strong signal here. Maybe you could say this one didn't work, but again, what is that, 1 and 4? You keep going up here. Strong signal here, beautiful bounce. Strong signal here, beautiful bounce. Strong signal here, beautiful bounce. And so again, I can't fake that. People underestimate Chart Prime, but it can be incredibly useful. Again, you could look at chart patterns as well. I could put up chart patterns and zoom out and look at an hourly chart. So like you could use this for longer term, shorter term trading, 1 minute trading, whatever. You can see when these candlesticks break and when these flag patterns break. There's so much that they offer smart money concepts. If you sign up for their lifetime subscription, you can get their back tester and their screener. And I think if you use my link, it's like $50. So I think it's incredibly useful if you can use it right. But again, it's a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course. They're a sponsor of mine, so of course I'm biased. But again, if you want to check it out, get 40% off. Here is the link. Appreciate the love, guys. You can also use this code right here if you want to check them out. Use the 40% off. Hey, thanks, Ricky. All right, guys. Yeah, we're sitting here tight. We're just kind of hanging out, man. market's pretty flat, so I'll probably go ahead and close it down. We got some stuff going on over the weekend here, team, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and close this thing down. I appreciate all the love and support today, guys. Remember, today is quad witching day, although we are getting some pretty big chop. Q and SPY have been moving weird. Tech has been running up. If you look at NVIDIA here and Apple, they've been kind of helping the markets right now, especially NVIDIA up to like 490s. And so if there's a stock that I would watch today, it would be NVIDIA. But yeah, guys, I appreciate the love. Thanks so much here. Again, we're going to go ahead and bow out for the rest of the day, most likely. I just don't see anything that I'm really loving right now. We're up a little bit today. Again, if you see my P&L, actually, like we ended up being up more before the open, and then we lost it and took our risk, which we sized up, and then we made a little bit more. So we're up like 220, small amounts. But that's all good, bro. Hey, y'all have a safe and happy weekend. Can you quickly explain quad witch? Yeah, man. Again, it's the big... All right, I joked around about the witch gathering earlier. Quad witching day is the day of historical volatility in which all 4 major contract types expire same day. Historically, this has included stock futures, index futures, stock options, and index options. There's no such thing as stock futures anymore, so it's actually technically triple witching day. And in those, the 3 contracts that expire at close today are index futures, index options, and stock options, right? So Apple options expire today. Index futures, so like the E-mini, the NASDAQ, what you see on screen right now is an index future. The contract rolled over from Z3 to now H4 is the new contract, NQH4. So yeah, that's index futures, stock options, and then index options. So like the S&P 500 options expire today as well. So those 3 things expire today. It's a day of volatility. But yeah, y'all be safe, be good. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Have a great weekend, team. Y'all be safe.